Hello viewers, my name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
This is to Give Me Productions bring you another TV season review.
So one of the most iconic science fiction horror series of all time, at least when we deal with the concept of science fiction and horror movies, has finally given the small screen treatment. And I'm talking about the Alien franchise's Alien Earth.
So this franchise been around since 1970s, that late period, one of the best horror eras ever. Also,
yeah, honestly, I mean, there's so many gems within that alone. And I feel as though Hollywood is slowly but surely making a turn this way towards that end again.
That horror renaissance and TV on the smaller screen is ramping up a lot more of that big budget endeavor. HBO will bring it again on television.
Welcome to Dairy.
So looking for, hopefully that is satisfying as well.
Yeah.
But Alien Earth is a very strange predicament here. One is the first TV series to spin off of the Alien franchise.
Yes. They tried going to different directions earlier.
It feels like for every Alien installment, as far as the film's concerned, it always feels like it has to reinvent itself.
And it's like so many. You had the Prometheus films. Recently, we had Romulus, which seems to be back towards basics for a lot of individuals that like that sort of thing. But when it comes to the Alien franchises, for me, I feel as though one of the major things that they desperately needed to do was to inject itself with something fresh, something was truly new to the franchise itself, something that, in my opinion, I feel as though the Predator franchise did really well.
And mind you, Predator, which is owned by 20th Century, which is by extending recently now Disney as well. Predator is a very simple concept, and mostly for every new installment is just the setting that changes.
Yeah.
For the Predator, it's the same story.
Again, the Alien franchise is something a little bit different. I feel as though this franchise, again, is no stranger to the concept of trying to interject different concepts, but has always been centered around one major aspect, that being the xenomorph alien itself.
So here comes Alien Earth, created by Noah Hawley, who take on the very ambitious endeavor to bring that fresh energy to this long-range franchise. Noah Hawley, if anyone who's familiar with his work, he's known for TV projects like Fargo and also FX's Legion, based off the X-Men character. His work is mainly deals with the cerebral thrillers. He does not. His work is not necessarily on the mainstream zeitgeist. Fargo is like his most, I would say, is more conservative mainstream attempt because it's mainly doing crime drama. But Alien is very much fits with his wheelhouse, but it appears as though, as far as the mainstream public is concerned, very controversial, I'll say.
Yeah, it's no secret right now that this particular show is pretty polarizing.
At least for the audience is concerned. Critics love it.
Exactly, and we totally understand why they're loving it. I had my my original ideas and thoughts about the series when I first saw it. I had my fears that it was going to be, again, running in the more generic area of just centering itself around the xenomorph and in the original Alien films, which is a treasure, but at the same time has been done so often. But here comes Noah and his story centered around new concepts like hybrids, synthetic human spices, and
new other species altogether.
It's interesting stuff that he's pulling, that's being pulled into this universe.
And with Alien Earth, the story, it takes place 2 years before the original Alien movie. And is within that world is a far distant, possible, scarily future.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Control where Earth, well, or at least mankind, I would say, because it's more expansive than just Earth, mankind is divided into 5 mega corporations.
And all these corporations are only truly looking out for themselves and the expansion of gaining more, intrigue and money and all kinds of stuff that's, really hampering down on the little guy. Mm-hmm. But the story is really focusing on one specific, or at least 2 specific corporations. That being Weyland-Yutani and of Prodigy.
Prodigy is a new company that's developed for the series to help expand upon the Big 5. That was mainly hinted at in other installments, but this time they were diving into them. And what we got right off the bat is the explanation of basically the 3 main type of character tropes, types that the series will present. You have, of course, humans. Humans, either the CEOs or the grunt workers. Mm-hmm. And within those, you also have the synths. Synths are basically just androids created for the servitude, mainly for the direct work in line with the corporation's interests. And now, in this introduction, this new series, hybrids, which are synths, but with a human consciousness.
And in the human consciousness, in this case, we're dealing with children. This particular show is heavily coded with the concepts of Peter Pan and that story of never growing up and being thrown into unique circumstances that forces somebody to have to develop in new, interesting ways that normally wouldn't happen.
A lot of the ethical, moral grounds is put on display here, and with Prodigy, the introduction of this hybrid concept, it really hit the ground running in the first 3 episodes actually, mm-hmm. Where a crash landing of a Weyland Industry ship that was housing 5 different species crashes on Prodigy land and Thailand, so New Thailand kind of like sorts, and is the Prodigy is trying to task and trying to figure out what's going on about what happened, this disaster.
But more importantly, their main goal is to capture what Weyland-Yutani are had in their possession for their own purposes, and the purposes that of the corporation's head, an individual by the name of Boy Cavalier.
And the series, that concept of introducing those new elements that I would say are ambitious to the story, but it echoes other previous works of science fiction. A lot of referential, like Blade Runner. You know, Blade Runner is not
technically
it's not connected.
It's not connected at all. But there are a lot of elements that make you think about it. Again, that with the synthetics, plight. And that of the plight of those hybrids and the unique circumstances they find themselves in.
Also, like I said, synths and humans and hybrids. There's also cyborgs, which are mainly just humans with cybernetic implants. A major character that we'll discuss later on. But it looks like that with these new elements, this series is still structured in a way that's very familiar to other past Alien films, but it does take a direction that I think not many mainstream audiences was expecting. What we have is, yes, you do have the xenomorph creature running about,
but it's not the main focus as far as the past films, where this is not the main antagonistic threat that human beings have to deal with. This show really takes the concept of the alien in more than one way. It's
more like the world of Alien on display. It's not just that creature, and really diving into the 5 corporations, the huge, the strong societal grip that they have on people, which I feel as though is the more horror aspect to the series.
And I feel as though one of the major characters that we have to highlight deals with Wendy, who is one of the newer aspects to this world as being the very first and successful entry of the hybrids.
Who was originally by the name of Marcy Hermit. Was a young girl who was dying of a cancer of sorts. Who apparently the only reason why hybrids are successful is through gathering the consciousness of children, since in the show's logic, children have their minds are more expansive than adults, so they're able to grow with the ever evolving technological world. And it feels like, here's something. I feel as though this idea is intriguing with the hybrids. It builds even more of a wonder of sorts of that, so that have that adjective of innocence that's not necessarily in the alien universe.
Mm-hmm.
Does it give you some excuses to some of the very questionable decision making involved here, and that's usually also present in other past alien movies. But there is a strong character development with Wendy, through this idea of identity, of trying to struggle what's her life now that she's no longer human in a sense.
Which, again, when I was trying to hint at earlier, is this clever caveat that this show has created with the concept of being alien in the series. Again, it's not just focusing on the physical concepts of the creatures from another world, but the concept of something that is strange and unfamiliar in a new environment. Wendy very much is alien to the world that she once knew. She is no longer in the same category as her fellow brethren that were once human. She is now in this new exclusive group of human/robotic transition.
Her development as a character is very strange to even her own familiar aspect to her brother of Joe Ernest, played by Alex Lawther. This is a character who has strong agency.
Yes, where you would have originally thought that a character like him would have been easily killed off and forgettable, I feel as though the way that this actor initiates this individual being able to take charge in moments that will literally leave lesser men or women fearing for their lives and falling on the blaze of things that were coming to challenge them. This individual very much understands the circumstances and the assignments and executes as only they can.
Him being a trained medic / military personnel who's leading a prodigy security firm, like you can clearly see how he's able to navigate situations. But I will say, immediately so, the show, despite it being a horror series of sorts, has a very low kill count in terms of its major characters.
Mm-hmm.
There's a large body count on the show.
Yeah.
There's a lot of red shirts, quote unquote.
But when it comes to the main individuals that you're supposed to be following and caring about,
there's a lot of plot armor surrounding these characters, and you'll see, especially with the character of Joe Hermit, that it does take away some of the impact of some actions that does take place, but it does not take away on the characterization that was written for him in the performance that's being done by his actor. The main character is the character of Kirsch, who is played by Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant is one of those very charismatic actors that when they're given a role, they chew up scenery. And this is very much the case in the character of Kirsch. The way that he plays this character is very mysterious. There's so many layers towards where you don't even know which way this individual is going. Are they loyal to their maker and the company they work for, or are they loyal to the concepts of this new enterprise of existence, that being the hybrid / synthetic life forms?
Yeah, he's very pro synth in a lot of regards, because he does he feels like he understands the world completely. But I feel though a lot of his main function in the show is the observer and scientist. He's tasked with trying to monitor the new species that's in custody of the Prodigy Corporation.
But then he also takes on this unique role with the hybrids in the form of a father figure in some sense, or just or big brother, however you want to really look at it. This individual who
Mentorship.
Mentorship, very much so, where they do a dual responsibility act with another character that is really interesting to see how that is juggled and moves around the plot.
And that other character by the name of Mara, who is a cyborg character, and he's played by Babou Ceesay, a very compelling, darkly written character who echoes Ripley.
Yeah,
in a sense, by
but
his
it's
origins.
because of the unique concept of where they fit within the alien universe, that being a mercenary tasked with with the Weyland-Yutani group, tasked with retrieving the stolen property in their particular eyes. The ways that he goes about doing his job, in one aspect has you hating him, but at the same time rooting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, his way of manipulation through the situation at hand, how he is he's very much on the antagonistic force of the show, at least this first season is concerned, who is able to not only read the room, act as according, but also be as very dangerous when needed to be. He has a lot to test with the CEO of the project, Boy Cavalier. There's one played by Samuel Blenkin.
Oh, I absolutely despise this character in a lot of ways. This individual is coded to be the antagonistic aspect of the Peter Pan storyline that they try to that they're roving around here. The individual who's obsessed with youth, obsessed with the possibility of intelligence and growth. The main drive behind this character is seeking intelligence that is beyond themselves or on par with them, so that they can have a true conversation with them. Everything about him screams entitlement / just callousness in and of itself.
That callousness is very much on the same display as what Weyland-Yutani has always portrayed, has always presented in the past Alien installments. We're seeing it just on here, the grounded level of that, since we're taking on place on Earth, primarily in the Prodigy main headquarters.
I guess when it comes down to it, there are decisions that are made on the show by certain characters, especially with certain characters who are supposed to be in this realm of scientific thought and higher learning. The decisions that are made it's crazily incompetent in certain ways that it almost goes into in the territory where it says okay, really, are we going to this direction?
Some leadership decisions would sound well made, but also there are some little details that it does they happen just because the writing wants it to happen, and we brought issues and criticisms to in other past movies, even from this year. So it's also that's a credible fault that this show does have.
Yeah.
But overall production.
This show is very it pays a lot of homage back to the original Alien series. You see the money on screen. You see where things are going. The way that the aliens are designed, the actual physical prosthetics are put in place. The design of the sets, everything looks like it is realistically there.
Yeah, this movie, the show, first season, I believe it was close to $300 million. Yeah. Something that is clearly shown on screen.
Yes.
I compared this production on par with Star Wars' Andor. Now this is on Hulu. FX is on Hulu, but it's because it's owned by Disney. Clearly spared no expense.
And then just to for another for elephant in the room that was pretty much spot on brought up by other individuals watching the series when it pertains to the xenomorph design itself and how it was going around and how it was used in the series. In certain respects, yes. Does it look like we're dealing with a man in a suit? Yeah. But then they also, because of the way that they use CGI and the way that they actually incorporate the species, their behavior and the way they move around their environment, it works well.
And they do interesting new things with the xenomorph with this series that it brings on interesting directions if the series you were to continue. But a standout as far as the new A species is of course the eye. The new
This
eye.
thing was crazy. You don't know where its lesions lies. You don't know where its thought patterns is. All we know is that it's scarily intelligent and has motives and beliefs and plans all of its own. And the way that they make this thing interact with the other characters in this environment, in this world, in this show, is crazy.
The other species don't necessarily get as much screen time, but they do bring a new other added forms of terror, I'll say.
The fly, the plant,
I think the bugs.
Yeah, the blood sucking
blood-sucking
bloods. There's a lot of interesting new creatures that are brought into this universe that have unique functions within it and serves very well.
Yeah, Noah Hawley, who's known for he's clearly inspired by 1970s type of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
The way that he's able to transition between things and overlay certain thought processes, very psychedelic in nature. Those dissolves in between certain scenes.
Seeing things overlay on each other, the way that certain characters' moments and feels and thoughts and feelings, it's just incredible. I really did enjoy the editing of this show.
It adds to a much very chill but yet haunting vibe.
Mm-hmm.
That's has not been really present in the Alien series, but
it feels like it was right. It feels like it's naturally should be there.
Though it probably be. I don't know. That's one of the other things that was probably questionable for other mainstream audiences.
Give or take.
Now, within the show, the actual story, it does have its own instrumental, very subtle, eerie type score. That's similar to what has already been heard in the Alien music, Alien films. But at the end of each episode,
they get these really awesome rock soundtracks
that at first may be jarring, but actually the music choices,
they fit really well with the themes that each episode was really trying to express.
Mm-hmm. For Alien Earth Season 1, I would say this is a great start.
Mm-hmm.
There are some narrative choices
that was pretty, it's pretty interesting and probably didn't necessarily, land as well as they should have. But at the same time, there are a lot of new, interesting, plot developments that is working right now.
Mm-hmm. And I do like the characters because who are been presented here with their own new, unique concepts and developments.
Have you watched this series? How are you, faring with it? Is it vibing with you? Is it not? Let us know. Are you a fan of the Alien franchise? Are you looking for new concepts and new stories within the Alien series that this show could possibly bring to us? Or are you a diehard first film,
second film,
purist?
Oh no. It's like what people expect from an Alien production at this point.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
This has been a Seeking Me production. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and also follow us on other social media outlets of Letterboxd, Instagram, and Threads.
Yep.
And be sure to check us out later on other media that we post on this channel.
See y'all later.